Good morning, guys. Today, with Garay, we are going to present your air quality in times of pandemic. And Juan Felipe, our presenter, is going to interview two affected people for this event of contamination.
Thank you, Samuel. The last week, I collected information and obtained the following data. Every year, approximately 8,000 people die from diseases associated with poor air quality. Another data that I can find is that Red Deer, a network made up of 12 universities and 7 environmental entities, said that in the first 86 days of 2020, biomass burns left 185,673 tons of PM 2.5 particulate materials in the country's atmosphere.
Well, Garay, that's interesting data. For my part, I also investigated, and what I found was that in April, when the quarantine was enforced, some fires stopped and the air quality improved significantly. There were, in the capitals of South America, reductions in polluting gases such as nitrogen dioxide (NO2) and ozone (O3), and particulate matter PM10 and also PM2.5.
Now we will go with our journalist Juan Felipe. He will then tell you about the greenhouse effect, its initial problem, human activities, its cause and effects, examples of the greenhouse effect, and finally its possible solutions.
So we are going to go to the southwest of the city in locations like Engativá, Fontibón, Suba, among others, by people that has been affected by the pandemic and the contamination of the air. And also, now we are going to talk about the greenhouse effect. That is an effect that warms the planet, principally because the human activities, in one way, that damage the different atmospheres of the planet, and this causes that the planet get warms, like a greenhouse uses by care about plants that don't let that the warm get out of the planet and get inside of the planet and warms the same and affecting all the living things and the environment. One possible solution is like to stop in a certain way like the human activities like oil extraction or fossil fuels, or stop the contamination by the air that also affects the atmospheres. And no more, this could be like the simple solution that the biggest enterprises could be like, to accept, in that is going to be help a lot of the planet. Also, they confirmed that we are in the neighborhood of the tunnel, and they will be interview certain people that is here in the neighborhood affected by the pandemic and the contamination. So we're going to review a man that is Artenas. So good afternoon. We will ask you some questions. You can help us.
Yes, man. What are the questions?
So, how was the environmental pollution and the pandemic affected? And what do you think could be the possible solution for this problem?
Man, the turn has been very hard because my son that have 2 years old was died the last week for the respiratory problem that the contamination of the air causes in the organisms. This problem was caused for the greenhouse. That's a problem that consists when the gases are in the atmosphere, and this produces that the temperature of the earth increase and make this problem. And with the actuality pandemic, my family have problem to breathe. And one solution that my family and me give to the greenhouse that was that the industries, companies, factories, and cars use less gases and don't use more fossil fuel to this process.
Mr. Martinez. Now we're going to a location of Suba. We are not affected. So, hello, man. We will ask you certain questions. Could you help us?
Of course, man. What are they?
What do you think about the pollution and how and the pandemic affect you? And what do you think could be the possible solution for this problem?
Juan Felipe, environmental contamination has been responsible for the death of my minor children. Regarding the pandemic, I was infected and they had to hospitalize for me more than 2 weeks. But I am fine. The solution that I had for the environmental contamination is that they reduce the salt of tobacco and reduce the manufacturing on the factories. And also can be a new quarantine to clean the air bit.
Have a good day.
Thank you, Felipe, for help with the interview. See you in a next occasion.